stop training, because the way you've been taught to train might actually be killing your football career without you even realizing it. We are constantly told that training more leads to better performance. So it makes sense to believe that if you just train harder, train longer, do more drills, more gym sessions, more runs, that improvement will naturally follow, right? But it's just like how someone might go to the gym for years doing the wrong form on squats, indirectly causing long-term knee damage just because they always assumed they were doing it right and never bothered to check if their technique was proper. Assuming you can just train the way you have been and assuming that training leads to improvement is a really, really dangerous connection to make. It's also the reason why the majority of footballers don't know how to train properly, even though that sounds crazy. Players now can't feel anymore the love to the ball the pros had in their childhood because they are bombarded by distractions. They don't have an actual relationship with the ball just like it was as kids. This will save you so much time, so much energy, and possibly rescue your career before it's too late. And I honestly hope this will be the last video you'll ever need to watch about training effectively for maximum performance. Let's build together a system that will make you improve and actually have fun. The first core principle you need to understand is the difference between volume and quality. Whenever I'd ask coaches how much I should train, the answer was always something like, you should probably do 2 hours of technical work, or make sure you practice shooting for at least an hour. None of this matters if the quality of those touches, those shots, those passes is poor. If you're just going through the motions without intention, without focus, without purpose, you might as well not train at all. What goes on inside each repetition, the quality and intention of each touch, is far more important than the volume of touches you get. For example, if you do 1,000 touches in training, but your intention rate is 10%, you'll get 100 quality touches actually done. Whereas if you do 200 touches with 50% intention and quality, you'll develop the same amount, 100 quality touches, but in 5 times less time. But how can we actually increase the quality and intention rate? You might have never even thought about this other side of the equation. You might have thought about just the volume side. The quality pyramid, as I call it, actually shows that how you train has a drastic difference in your development rate and hence the effectiveness of your training session. At the bottom of the pyramid, with the lowest effectiveness rate, is passive watching. Just watching videos of skills without actually doing anything. Lots of players waste hours here, thinking they're studying the game when they're really just procrastinating. One level up is mindless repetition. The 1,000 touches a day approach with no focus or intention. This is where most players spend most of their time. In the middle is technical training with some intention, cone drills where you're focused on your technique, but it's still not game realistic. Higher up is technical training in game realistic scenarios. This is where you're practicing skills in context similar to what you'll face in matches. And at the top, with the highest effectiveness rate, is what I call flow state training, where you're fully immersed, fully engaged, and pushing the boundaries of your ability in game realistic contexts. This is the gold standard, and it's what we should all aim for. Now, what does training with intention and quality actually look like? Let me break down the technical areas you need to develop. First, ball control and first touch. Ball control is the foundation of everything in football. Without it, nothing else matters. In matches, the ball comes at weird angles, with weird spins at different heights and speeds. If your training doesn't reflect that unpredictability, it's not effective. So here's how to train ball control properly. 1. Juggling. This is the most basic of exercises, but I bet 90% of the guys watching here can't juggle 10 times in a row with their weak foot. This might seem not a big deal, but it is very important. Practice juggling 10 to 30 minutes every day and you will see your confidence and ball control skyrocket. After this, we pass to its variation, wall juggling, which is pretty much the same, but instead of juggling, you kick up with the wall. Second, first touch finishing. This combines control with purpose, which is very important for training with intention. Have balls played to you in the box and try to score with your second touch in a way that the first one sets it in the right way. This trains you to control the ball with the end goal already in mind. The key with all these drills is intention. Don't just think, I need to control this ball. Actually feel the intention, be fully connected with the body. That's how you build game-changing ball control. Now, passing. Passing is the most frequent technical action in football. Here's how to make your passing training actually transfer to matches. 1. Wall work. Strike the ball with different parts of your foot against a wall at different angles with different power. Each rebound will be unique, forcing you to adapt. Try to control the unpredictable rebounds with different parts of your body. Foot, thigh, chest. This builds the adaptability you need in real games. Second, varied distance passing. Train the full spectrum in the same session. 5 meter, 15 meter, 30 meter switches of play. In games, you need them all. You can just do it against a wall or with a partner. Third, rondos. This drill requires a team. Basically, you want to put 2 players defending in the center and 1 player finding passing lanes. The quality of these passing drills comes from the decision-making elements and the pressure. A perfect pass to the wrong option is still a bad pass in a game. Train both the how and the why of passing. Now, shooting. Shooting is probably the most over-practiced and under-mastered skill in football. Players love shooting drills because scoring feels good. Here's how to make your shooting training actually improve your match performance. 1. First time finishing. Have a partner pass the ball to you in different ways. On the ground, bouncing, in the air, and work on finishing first time. In matches, the best chances often need to be taken immediately, without extra touches. Second, turn and shoot. Start with your back to goal, receive a pass, turn quickly, and shoot. This simulates the tight space, quick reaction shooting often needed in the box. 3. 1 versus 1 finishing. After receiving a pass, have a defender apply pressure from behind as you shoot. This trains you to finish while feeling defensive pressure, one of the hardest skills in football. Third, position-specific finishing. Train the types of shots you'll actually take in matches based on your position. Wingers should practice cutting in and shooting, or hard crosses, such shots from tight angles. Strikers should practice quick turns in the box, headers, and rebounds. Midfielders should practice arriving late to shoot from the edge of the box. You can do this with combo flow. You start juggling in your position, then you kick the ball up, you control it, and snap with some dribbling and shooting. The key is to make every shot count. 5 quality, game-realistic shots with full focus and proper technique will develop your finishing ability more than 50 casual shots from unrealistic positions. Now, dribbling. Dribbling is perhaps the most misunderstood technical skill in football. There are 2 types of players when it comes to dribbling. The first one tries to master every skill he sees on reels, and when it comes to real game, does nothing. And the other one focuses too much on cone drills without doing any game, realistic scenario, ending up just like the first guy. The problems with most dribbling training, it is too focused on flashy moves, practiced without realistic defender pressure or reactions, trained in isolation instead of as part of a broader tactical context, and there is no decision-making component about when to dribble versus when to pass. Here's how to train dribbling effectively. 1. Simplify your toolkit. Instead of trying to learn 20 different skill moves, master 3 to 5 that fit your playing style. Messi has basically used the same few moves his entire career. The difference is he's mastered them completely and knows exactly when to use them. Choose a skill, do it slowly, and focus on the right technique. For example, in the body, feints, emphasize the shoulder drop. 2. Shadow dribbling. Now that you have practiced your skills, try to practice them imagining defenders coming at you. This is the same concept of shadow boxing. You imagine a fighter and just put maximum effort in your punches and dodges. So what you do here is just get the ball and try every skill you mastered while imagining defenders. 3rd, 1 versus 1 repetition. Set up a simple 1 versus 1 channel and practice repeatedly taking on a defender. Here you apply those 3 to 5 core moves you're mastering. 4. Pickup games. The best way to train your dribbling is actually testing it in raw, small-sided games. 2 versus 2, 4 versus 4. You don't have enough space to pre-plan, so you have to rely on instincts. And even though the first times, you will struggle with performing those skills, with repetition, you will let them flow through you. Now, decision making. Decision making might be the most important technical skill, yet it's almost never trained directly. Most players assume good decisions just come naturally with experience, which is true, but like any skill, decision making can and should be deliberately practiced. Here's how to train it. Watch matches and pause just before key moments. Ask yourself what decision you would make in that situation, then see what actually happened. This builds your mental pattern recognition. Play a lot of small-sided games. Here you have a lot of decisions you can make. You touch the ball a lot of times, and every time you get it, you are in front of hundreds of different choices, and as you play more, you will improve your decision making. The quality in decision making training comes from the variety of scenarios, the game realism, and most importantly, the feedback. After each decision, analyze whether it was optimal and why or why not. Now, for every single drill I mentioned in this video, remember to also focus on the weak foot. For example, in pickup games, use the weak foot at least 30% of the time. In passing drills, do a 50-50. Now let's talk about physicality. And I'm going to say something controversial here, but absolutely necessary. If you are a serious footballer, stop valuing the gym too much. I know it sounds crazy. You see footballers on Instagram in the gym. You see YouTube videos of pros lifting weights. You think, I need to do what they're doing. But here's what no one tells you. Most pro footballers in their teenage years spent almost no time in the gym. They spent all the hours playing actual football, improving on the field. And that is actually what makes a player elite. And once they're on the pro level, they start adding more gym-related training. They also have behind them entire teams of performance coaches guiding them in their journey. You can't expect to become a better footballer by doing push-pull leg splits, eating oats and peanut butter. So what should you do instead? Focus on bodyweight training that directly improves football-specific attributes. First, unilateral isometric exercises. These are exercises where you hold a position under tension. Things like wall sits, planks, split squats holds, and L-sits. These build tendon strength, joint stability, and the kind of deep strength that prevents injuries and improves performance. Isometrics are powerful because they train your body to create tension and maintain stability. Crucial skills for football that traditional weight training often misses. When you're shielding the ball from a defender, battling for position on a corner, or maintaining your balance after a tackle, you're using isometric strength. Here's a simple isometric routine you can do 2 to 3 times a week. Split squat hold with elevated heels, 2 sets each leg, holding for 1 to 2 minutes. Once it becomes easy, add some weight to progressive overload. Next, heel elevated wall sit. 3 sets, holding as long as possible, aim for 1 to 2 minutes. Once you master it, add weights. Next, heel elevated step up. Find a box and put 1 foot on it. You should elevate the heel and maintain balance. Do this for 2 sets, both feet, holding as long as possible. Second, plyometric training. These are explosive movements that develop power and reactivity. Things like jump squats, bounds, single leg hops, and lateral jumps. Here is a simple plyometric routine. Start with stiff hops, jumps, normal jumps, but you have to maintain your ankles locked. A stiff ankle results in more efficient transfer and less injury risks. Next, we do the variation with one leg hop, just the same thing as before. Next, depth jumps, 3 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions. These are important for training your legs to absorb the impact in the right way. Now, let's talk about stamina. When I ask players how they train stamina, most say the same thing. I go for long runs, or I do laps around the field. But here's the truth. Football is not a marathon. It's a series of high-intensity sprints followed by periods of lower intensity movement. Running 5 kilometers at a steady pace might improve your cardiovascular system, but it trains the wrong energy systems for football. It teaches your body to conserve energy and pace yourself, the exact opposite of what you need on the pitch. In football, you need to be able to sprint at 100% effort, recover quickly, and do it again and again for 90 minutes. This requires training a system, the lactic system. This powers your explosive movements like sprinting and jumping. It provides maximum energy, but only for 8 to 10 seconds. The lactic system, this kicks in for high intensity efforts lasting 20 to 60 seconds, like repeated sprinting down the wing. The aerobic system, this is your baseline endurance that allows you to recover quickly between high intensity efforts. For the lactic system, do repeated sprints of 5 to 10 seconds at maximum effort, followed by 30 to 60 seconds of complete rest. 8 to 10 repetitions 2 to 3 times per week. For the lactic system, do interval training where you work hard for 30 to 60 seconds, then recover for 60 to 120 seconds. This could be shuttle runs or hill sprints. For the aerobic system, play football. Seriously, small-sided games for 60 to 90 minutes will develop your aerobic capacity while also improving your technical abilities. It's the ultimate 2-for-1 training method. But beyond just the energy systems, we need to address the foundations of stamina. First, fix your circadian rhythm. Your body runs on natural cycles that affect your energy, recovery, and performance. Go to bed before 10 p.m., wake up with the sun, and get natural light on your skin early in the day. This optimizes your hormones, particularly testosterone and growth hormone, which are crucial for recovery and performance. Second, prioritize proper breathing. Most players breathe incorrectly, using shallow chest breathing when they should be using deep diaphragmatic breathing. Practice nasal breathing during training to increase oxygen efficiency and reduce fatigue. Third, improve your running mechanics. Most stamina issues aren't about energy systems at all. They're about inefficient movement. If you run with poor form, you waste energy with every step. Focus on landing on the midfoot or forefoot, not the heel. Maintaining a slight forward lean, relaxing your shoulders and arms, and engaging your glutes and core. And finally, spend time barefoot. Modern shoes weaken the feet, creating inefficiencies up the kinetic chain. Stronger feet lead to better balance, more efficient movement, and ultimately, better stamina. Do at least some of your training barefoot on soft surfaces like grass or sand. Remember, stamina is how efficiently you use the energy available to you. The final piece of the training puzzle is perhaps the most important and the most neglected, training your instincts and ability to enter flow state. So how do you develop this ability? Through deliberate practice of game realistic scenarios. First, play small-sided games as much as possible. 3 versus 3, 4 versus 4, and 5 versus 5 formats force you to make quick decisions, touch the ball frequently, and solve problems continuously. They naturally push you toward instinctive play because there's no time to overthink. Second, embrace street football and futsal. There's a reason so many Brazilian players have incredible technique and creativity. They grew up playing in environments where there were no coaches shouting instructions, no fixed positions, and the only thing that mattered was solving the problem in front of you with whatever skill was necessary. Third, practice meditation and mindfulness. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes of meditation each morning, focusing on your breath and observing your thoughts without attachment. Fourth, experiment with other sports. Flow state occurs when you're pushed just beyond your comfort zone. When you play other sports, you are breaking the line of comfort and also improving your stamina. Fifth, stop seeking external validation. If you're constantly worried about what your coach, teammates, or parents think about your performance, you'll never enter a flow state. Train yourself to focus on the process, not the outcome. And finally, understand that instinct comes from exposure and repetition in varied scenarios. The more different situations you experience, the more your brain builds neural pathways to handle novel challenges. This is why limiting yourself to structured training environments severely limits your development. I hope this really did change your perspective on how you need to train, because these are really key concepts that are rarely taught but can completely change your football career. If you're still watching at this point, you're already ahead of 99% of players who clicked away after the first few minutes. Congrats, man. Remember to join our free Discord community and to download our free ebooks. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Hit the protocol and take action.